Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN, presented by Nike. We have made it to the weekend. TGIF, we're celebrating at the ballpark. Athletes Unlimited Softball Week 2, time to roll up our sleeves. We have got Team Zirkle, coached by Morgan Zirkle, taking on Sierra Romero's Team Romero. This will be the first of a doubleheader. Athletes Unlimited Softball. Well, glad to have Sierra Romero in the mix. One of the all-time greats at the college level, now doing her thing as a pro. She's a captain. How about this? She's able to pick her sister on her team. And what you can do when you're a captain, you make the decision on who's your team. She'll be matching wits with Morgan Zirkle. With Zirkle being a captain, she has picked two of her coaches at the college ranks. She coaches at Marshall. She's got two of her Marshall assistant coaches on her team. That's what you could do with Athletes Unlimited. It's softball, but it's different. Athletes Unlimited Softball has 60 of the best players in the world divided 4 ways. We keep track of everything. Top 4 point leaders at the end of a weekend are going to be the captains next week. They can pick their own team. And we're going to play tons of softball over the next 3 days. Doubleheaders tonight, tomorrow, and on Sunday. Glad to have you along for the ride. Athletes Unlimited Softball here in Rosemont, Illinois, with my partner, 2-time All-American at Arizona, Kenzie Fowler. I am Eric Collins, and I'm all kinds of excited because we get a chance to a newbie to experience Athletes Unlimited Softball. Glad to have you here, Kenzie.
Thank you for having me. I've been such a fan of this league the last 3 seasons, now, of course, the 4th. So excited to be here in person. The pitching is elite. The offense is powerful. And just overall, I think the product of this game is the best of the best. So excited to be here.
I think one of the really cool things about Athletes Unlimited Softball is you get athletes in their prime doing their thing. And one of those people in their prime has been Morgan Zirkle. She was a great college player, but she's gotten better and better now 4 years into her pro career.
And this is the only captain that we'll see this weekend that has been in this position before. So this is somebody that knows how to draft a team, knows what it takes for herself to perform as well. And we talked about this earlier. She is the head coach of Marshall, so I'm going to call her the boss because that's what she is. She drafted a couple of her assistant coaches on her own team, and she was electric last weekend. The home run power, the speed, she was all about it.
Well, Morgan Zirkle, the captain, able to make her own lineup card however she chooses. She's going to put herself in the number 1 spot. Zirkle will be followed by Amanda Lorenz, the former Florida Gator. Danielle Gibson, now in her 2nd pro season, hits 3rd. Delaney Wiz, followed by the veteran Gwen Svekis, Caroline Jacobson, and then a couple of those Marshall assistant coaches, Allie Harrell and Sydney McKinney, going to hit 7 and 9, surrounding Josie Muffley. Let's do it. Odyssey Alexander in the circle, throwing our game's first pitch for Team Romero, and it's called strike 1. 7-inning game. We're keeping track of everything. Singles, 10 points, doubles, 20, triples, 30, homers, 40. You can go up and down the leaderboard throughout the course of this 2-hour game. Back-to-back quality strikes for Odyssey Alexander. Week 1, Zirkle was phenomenal. 5 hits and 9 at-bats, including a homer. .71 miles per hour. Odyssey Alexander, one of the hardest pro throwers.
And threw really well last week and was a part of that shutout, which you just don't see very often in the pro level. And Odyssey Alexander, Alyssa Denham combined 2-hit shutout last weekend. She looked good and was hitting her spots. Her speeds are up. And to me, the separator was her off-speed pitch. Watching her last weekend, it was the best I've seen her throw it maybe in her entire career. And that's a pitch that you have to have at this level. Of course, you have the separator and you can throw 70 miles an hour, but she drops in that off-speed. She's tough to hit.
Ball and 2 strikes. Odyssey Alexander. Really, the common theme in week 1 was pitching.
Yeah.
Any team that scored 4 runs, which usually is not a lot in Athletes Unlimited, any team that scored 4 runs last week won the game. Tried to paint, and it just misses wide, and Alexander just turns her back to the home plate umpire.
Throws a screwball, rise ball combo to right-handed hitters. She'll work the outside part of the plate as well with the curve. Just trying to get Zirkle to chase something out of the box.
Good bit of fight here for Zirkle. She's seen everything that Odyssey Alexander has to offer. Everyone in that first base dugout saying, thank you, Morgan. Now we're ready to go. We've seen what Odyssey's throwing. So a wonderful at bat for Morgan Zirkle to begin our ball game.
This is just what we saw Odyssey do last weekend, and that's the off-speed pitch that I'm talking about, working the outside corner to left-handed hitters with that screwball. You can see the run. And she was trying to get that pitch against Morgan Zirkle in this last at-bat, the right-handed matchup with the curve, and then the off-speed. Got the pitch arsenal there. One of the harder throwers, like you talked about. Rise, screw, and curve. That's really her mix. The changeup as well for that off speed.
So Zirkle's on at first. Always a threat to steal a base. First pitch to Amanda Lorenz is high. Great week one for Amanda. 4 for 7 with a homer. And get this, she walked 5 times.
It's wild.
Down the left field line, foul territory, and out of play. So Amanda Lorenz played 3 games, and she reached base safely 9 times. 4 hits and 5 walks.
Well, it's well known on the scouting report, Amanda Lorenz likes to take pitches and is just very comfortable hitting with 2 strikes, but 5 walks, when I saw that, I was like, no way, 5, really? So this is a good spot for her. Zirkle with the speed at first. First base occupied, you have to come to her.
That ball's got eyes. Base hit to left field for Amanda Lorenz. Big, powerful hitter. That time just an excuse me swing, and she gets herself a base hit. Singles are a +10.
She has great plate coverage. Look where she stands, kind of off of the plate a little bit because she knows what she can cover on the outside part of the plate. That ball was a ball off from Alexander. So you're going to see it not be hit the hardest off the bat of Lorenz, but just enough for her to get a base hit, and Zirkle now in scoring position.
Here's Danielle Gibson. Called strike 1 to Gibson. Gibson begins her week 2, 11th out of 60 players on the leaderboard. Oh, there goes Zirkle to third. The delayed steal. Crafty play. Stolen bases +10 for Zirkle. So she's already got 20 points with the walk and the stolen, 18 points with the walk and the stolen base.
This is what she was known for her entire career at Marshall. Just runs on you. You've got to keep eyes on her at all times, no matter what base.
Well, if you're the head coach at a Division I program, you better be the most heads-up player in the field, right?
Look, and I'm excited to see what she brings to Marshall just in terms of the culture and the identity, because that's what Marshall was known for when she was a player herself, is the speed and the aggression on the base paths. And so I'd love to, stay tuned and see what Marshall is as a program. Do they identify with her in that, short game? Of course, she does have power, but the speed on the base paths, bunting, it's going to be fun to watch.
Pretty cool recruiting tool.
Yeah.
Hey, just turn on the television. Watch me play. This is how we're going to play.
This is how I do it. This is how I want us to do it. You bet.
So Odyssey Alexander has a meeting right now with her catcher, Saciel Palacios. Still nobody out. Remember, Alexander thought that she had struck out Zirkle to begin the game. Didn't get a call she wanted. Ended up walking Zirkle. Then kind of the little excuse me base hit for Lorenz, the stolen base by Zirkle, and Alexander's in hot water.
Well, 3 lefties at the top of this lineup with Zirkle, Lorenz, and Gibson. Against the right-handed Alexander, and you can tell she's clearly trying to pitch outside to all of these lefties. Tried to go inside on that full count to Zirkle in the first at-bat of the game, didn't get the call. Sometimes Those left-handed hitters, as a righty, I can tell you, can take some pitches away.
3-2 pitch, again misses just a bit outside, and the bases are loaded for Team Zirkle.
I was trying to find something on this outside corner, whether it's a screwball or a backdoor curve. It's clearly off, trying to work the strike zone, and you're going to see very quickly Captain Romero at second base going to talk to her pitcher and figure out situational-wise what they're going to do here with the bases loaded.
Well, this is going to be the first right-handed batter that Alexander faces.
And I'll tell you, that's a difference. And thinking of myself and putting myself in the shoes of Alexander, I preferred right-handed hitters, and so maybe this is a very comfortable situation for Odyssey in the circle.
Infield's in all the way around. Called strike one to Wiz.
So that pitch right there, we did not see against the left-handed hitters. That's the curveball on the outside part of the plate, righty on righty, and now it just changes the at-bat completely. You're pitching ahead, you have the confidence in a pitch that you didn't see a couple of batters ago.
Little number, 0-2.
Such a good setup too, right? You go outside for the called strike, and then she's got the velocity, high 60s, go hard in on the hands, and now you really can do anything you want. You can go up, way above the letters, change up in the dirt.
Blocked nicely by Palacios. Now next in line after Wiz, another right-handed batter, and Gwen Svekis. Into left, may score a run. Bubba Nichols makes the play. Tagging from third and scoring is Morgan Zirkle. So the first run of the game comes across for Team Zirkle. Scored a sacrifice fly for Wiz, which is a productive out for her. That is a +10 on the sacrifice fly for Wiz.
1-2 count. I'm a little surprised this pitch wasn't a little bit more elevated, but the bases are loaded, so you have to respect the power of Delaney Wiz at the plate. And then Bubba Nichols playing pretty shallow and left. There's no way you're going to get the speed of Zirkle at home.
Ball gets away from Palacios, and it allows both runners to take an extra bag. So almost like Odyssey Alexander thinking to herself, maybe she could exhale a little bit. Can't anymore. Two runners in scoring position. It scored a passed ball on Palacios. The veteran, Gwen Svekis. This is her 4th AU championship season. All 3 seasons prior, she's finished in the top 14 and when it was all said and done. An accomplished professional player, Gwen Svekis. 10 career homers in 48 games.
So consistent. I mean, if you ask anyone, she's always a player that people want on their team for so many reasons. I just feel like we don't talk about her maybe as enough as we should have.
On the ground, Lorenz caught in a pickle. And Lorenz is, well, she went out of the base pass, so it's out number 2, heading over to second, and Svekis is going to run into the third out. Oh my. How about that for a double play to end the first inning? But Team Zirkle, they do score a run, but they may have had a chance for more, but they run into 2 outs. We'll take a quick timeout. Back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. We played a half inning here in Rosemont, Illinois. Team Circle, they scored a run on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Delaney Wiz. Maybe could have had more, but they run into a double play. Talk more about that in a moment. Take a look at the lineup card for Sierra Romero. The Olympian Kelsey Stewart-Hunter leads things off, followed by another Olympian for Team USA, Bubba Nichols, Anissa Urtez, Sierra Romero, the captain, hitting fourth. Mia Davidson has been just wonderful in her 2 seasons here with AU. Sierra's sister, Sydney, hits in the 6th hole. Megan Wiggins, the veteran. Shannon Rhodes, last year's Rookie of the Year. And the catcher, Sasio Palacios. That 9 will bat against Alyssa Denham, the impressive right-hander from Arizona.
That's right. That's right. Alum partner for Alyssa Denham and myself. Got to watch her pitch a lot in Tucson, and she's really developed a couple of different pitches at the pro level. You look at the drop ball, that's her go-to pitch, but it's the rise ball and the curve ball that she continues to develop and throw a little bit more of. Also throws a screwball, which is probably her hardest pitch. Threw well last weekend. Had a little bit of a rocky outing for the first outing for her, but rebounded so well. And like we talked about, had the complete game shutout with Odyssey Alexander, the 2-hit shutout. So quickly, those two are going to get split up, right? You're going to have a shutout with 2 pitchers, and
they're going to be in demand.
That's right. They're going to be split up very quickly.
Kelsey Stewart-Hunter begins her weekend 13th out of 60 players on the leaderboard. Flails away, down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Stewart-Hunter, 2 hits and 11 at-bats last week. How about this for Alyssa Denham? She pitched in 3 games last week and got the decision in all 3 games. She had 2 wins and a loss. So she was kind of that fulcrum pitcher each and every time. Denham threw 8 2/3 last weekend. Only had 2 strikeouts against 4 walks.
Doesn't need strikeouts to be dominant. I mean, she is a dominant pitcher and just can roll ground balls, and will be very happy with that. Gets weak contact. When she's at her best, she's going to get weak contact off the end of the bat, just like that foul ball there. Likes to set up that drop, whether that's a rise, a curve, off-speed curve.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Off speed, didn't give it a chance, so the count goes full, 3-2. We saw what happened to Odyssey Alexander when she walked the leadoff batter in the 1st inning. Morgan Zirkle came around to score. Lifted in the air. Left field, Lorenz makes the play in foul territory. So one Florida Gator flies out to another. Tim Walton knew it.
I always love that about this league, is you get the unique pairings, and you have the veterans that have been in the league for a long time. Here comes some rookies that they've been watching in college, and then the teammates are getting the other teammates out. Last week I was watching Kat Sandercock and Josie Muffley have to pitch and hit against each other, so it's just a fun aspect of this league. You get the matchups that we've kind of been waiting for a couple of years.
Just saw something a moment ago as Bubba Nichols was coming to the plate. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter stopped her and whispered into her ear. It's the same thing that Morgan Zirkle was able to provide for her team in the top of the 1st inning. Stewart-Hunter saw a bunch of pitches and relayed the intel that she got to Bubba Nichols.
I love that. I love passing along the information, but it's just kind of funny to me because all of these players know exactly what Alyssa Denham's going to throw. So maybe Kelsey Stewart-Hunter saw something a little bit different, maybe an off-speed pitch, or you can always look for fingers as a hitter trying to pick up a grip here or there. But there's so much familiarity with the veterans, the ones that have been in this league for 4 years, 3 years. Kind of paying attention a little bit last weekend when you get a rookie coming in to pitch, and all of the offensive hitters and teammates from the dugout are talking about what does she look like, what do you see, because it's your first time checking it out.
Right back up the middle. So Bubba Nichols picks up 10 points here in the 1st inning. 1 out base runner. Just like we saw in the 1st inning, in the top of the 1st inning. Odyssey Alexander thought she had the strikeout, eventually didn't get it. Just a moment ago, it looked like Denham thought that she had struck out Nichols, didn't get the call, and she ends up giving a hit to Bubba.
Well, look, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter gave her some good information. It was hit very solidly up the middle. That ball just kind of bled over the heart of the plate a little bit. Looked like Svekis was set up a little bit more outside, came over the white, and that's exactly where Bubba Nichols went up the middle.
Here's Anissa Urtez. Solid week 1 for Urtez. Currently 5th on the leaderboard. 5th out of 60 players. 3 for 8 last weekend. Urtez has been one of the most consistently excellent players with Athletes Unlimited. Finished 15th on the leaderboard her first season, 14th 2021. Last year finished 25th. Ball and 2 strikes. So Denham has now gotten to 2 strikes on all 3 batters she's faced here in the first inning. Chopped foul, do it again.
You could see Gwen Svekis, 2 strikes, really trying to relay to Alyssa Denham in the circle. Calm it down a little bit, make sure you get it outside. These two have been pitching together almost the entire summer. Has been playing in the Japan Professional League, and so there's so much familiarity and trust and knowing what they need in every single count.
On the ground, could be 2. There's 1 on to first, not in time. Urtez just legs it out to keep the inning alive.
This is as good as a strikeout there for Alyssa Denham. That's some weak contact. Unable to quite get the double play. Urtez runs pretty well down the line from the right side. Just a nice little rebound, though. You give up the solid base hit to Bubba Nichols, and then you're facing Urtez. Solid hitter.
Saw some pretty good hands there from Muffley. Looked like the ball kind of handcuffed her, but she still got it out of her glove cleanly and gave a quick feed to McKinney at short.
New position for her as well. Has been, playing shortstop her entire career at Florida State.
If you got good hands.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Sierra Romero, the captain. Romero, number 2 on the leaderboard, looking up at only Rachel Garcia. We'll see Team Garcia later tonight as they take on Team Veremo. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened over there at first base. Urtez just fell down and had to crawl back to the bag at first.
Look, that turf will get you.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Romero. Denham has gotten to 2 strikes on every batter she's faced here in the first inning. Off-speed pitch, well out in front is Romero.
Such a good spot for that off-speed pitch. 2 strikes, you want to show it, and if you're going to throw inside to a hitter like Sierra Romero, that's exactly where you want to put it. You have the confidence to throw that as a pitcher, and if Romero does get a bat on it, that's the only place it has to go is foul, and then it's just a setup. What's coming for the next pitch here? Ooh. You can see the spin on that. Off-speed curveball, back-to-back. So she threw one backdoor inside to Romero and then follows it up with the exact same pitch, but on the outside part of the plate. So you get a hitter leaning. You see that as a pitcher. Gwen Svekis absolutely sees that, tries to get her leaning again.
This time went with the express, and it's ball 3, 3-2. So the runner from first will be in motion. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The cleanup hitter, Sierra Romero. On the ground, Muffley Side is retired. It is an inning win for Team Zirkle. They get the 10 points for winning the first inning. To the second we go, 1-0 Team Zirkle over Team Romero. Welcome back, everyone. 1-0 lead, Team Zirkle over Team Romero. Let's go into the game with Air National Guard and listen in to Odyssey Alexander.
I'm just trying to hit a spot.
Yeah.
Trying to find a zone.
He's not given the chalk right now, so bring it closer to river and let us help you.
Okay.
Okay?
Honestly, it's not what the other guy was given. It's a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
So like those screw balls that I was getting the other day, like he's not giving river.
Okay.
Look, we want the river as a pitcher. Let's be very clear about that. And sometimes, you know, every day you think the river could be a little bit bigger, or sometimes you think it's a little bit smaller. And I know here at AU there's a focus of allowing the pitchers to have the river and command it for the strike zone. And Odyssey was talking to Sachelle and Sierra saying, dang, I'm not getting the river. Whether she is or not, she wasn't thinking that she was. And as a pitcher myself, we always think we have the river. The river's ours.
Here's Caroline Jacobson leading it off. Jacobson checks her swing, ball down. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. After Jacobson, we'll see Allie Harrell and Josie Muffley. This is the really young portion of the lineup for Team Zirkle. She's got the youngest roster by far this week. Jacobson, rookie out of Clemson, spent the majority of her college career playing at the other newbie ACC program at Duke. 4 years at Duke, playing for Marissa Young. And then her final year just this past spring, playing at Clemson. Jacobson currently 21st on the leaderboard. And she'll get another swing.
I think it's very fitting that Zirkle drafted a younger team. We talked about her being a head coach herself, announced this summer as well, so she'll have her first full year at Marshall being the head boss. So I think it's very fitting. This is a place where she's gonna really have to go to work, and a bunch of rookies here in this lineup: Sid McKinney, Josie Muffley.
Team Zirkle was able to manufacture a run in the first inning. A couple of walks, 1 soft single, sacrifice fly, scored the run. And one of the things we always talk about now, 4 years with Athletes Unlimited, all the games being played here championship season wise in Rosemont, Illinois, we always talk about the wind. And it is blowing in today. Kenzie, it is blowing in pretty hard from left field. And that makes a huge difference in how we play this game. Ball's not going to carry out. And it also is going to make every single pop-up to the infield and to the outfield somewhat of a challenge.
If I was pitching, I would ask my teammates to let me know of the wind, because pitchers, sometimes we're so locked into exactly what we're doing in the pitch calling, and sometimes it's hard to even feel what your environment feels like, but it's such a difference maker in what you're throwing and how you're throwing. Maybe you can throw something a little bit more confidently and miss maybe a little bit more center cut if the wind's blowing in. So I would ask, maybe a third baseman, first baseman, hey, if the wind's blowing in, will you let me know? And just kind of give myself a little bit more room for error.
All right, Kenzie Fowler, two-time All-American at Arizona. It's only 43 feet from the pitcher's plate to home plate. Does the wind make a difference to you in terms of the spin on your pitches when it's
Yes.
coming in at you, or it's a crosswind, or when it's going out?
So the wind's coming in, you're going to pick up the velocity, but you're going to lose your movement. So you may, Odyssey, throw in high 60s, maybe he's going to push 70 now. If you're throwing against the wind, your ball is going to move like crazy, but you're going to lose your speed. So it's just kind of what you want if you're going to hit spots or try and get that ball to dance a little bit more.
That is a foul ball. 5 consecutive foul balls off the bat of Caroline Jacobson right now. It's one of the things about Athletes Unlimited softball is you can really get worn down as a pitcher because these hitters are so good to try and get 3 strikes past these guys. Good luck. Sometimes you get 2, but getting that 3rd is not easy. So the count goes full, 3-2. This is the 3rd full count in the first 6 batters that Odyssey Alexander's faced. She has already thrown 36 pitches to get 3 outs.
And typically in AU, we've seen Odyssey be used as a closer for the most part, just because of how hard she throws with the velocity and maybe coming in after a pitcher. There's so many spinny pitchers in this league, and she just really throws the heat. And so maybe a little bit of a new role for her getting the start, and you do have to have a different mentality. You have to have a different game plan versus being a closer.
Another foul ball. So Jacobson's going to see a minimum of 13 pitches this at bat.
This isn't an impressive at bat for the rookie, no matter how it ends for her.
Good God. Well, Odyssey had a meeting with her captain, the second baseman, Sierra Romero. Now she has a brief meeting with her catcher, Sasel Palacios. Maybe just needs a blow.
I think
foul balls this at bat off the bat of Caroline Jacobson.
I think Odyssey just told Sasel what she wants to throw. That's what I read right there from that quick little meeting. This is what I want. Let's do it.
And it misses. So for the 2nd consecutive inning, a leadoff walk for Team Circle. Well, every week, brand new teams here with Athletes Unlimited. And these are some of the things that we witnessed during the draft. 3 first-time captains during the AU championship season. Garcia, Romero, and Faremo. Morgan Zirkle was a captain in years past. And very young pitching staff for a rookie herself, Team Faremo. More on that in a bit. We're going to talk to Savannah Collins, who is here for every single moment of Athletes Unlimited softball. Never takes a break, and she has her thoughts on this week's draft. Savannah, how you doing?
Good. Thanks, Eric. Kenzie, I would have thought you were in Morgan Zirkle's draft room. Based on what you've talked about in the first inning, you have hit so many of her priorities. And we're seeing them play out on the field, which is really neat. So you were talking about all of her lefties. That was intentional. And the time that she's hoping that really pays off is when they see Rachel Garcia later this weekend. So that was something within her game plan. She wanted a lot of lefty batters. She was comfortable drafting a heavily rookie team. There's 5 of them. That's why they're the Baby Blues as their team mascot this weekend. So much of what you've talked about were things that Morgan Zirkle did on purpose in her draft room putting together this blue squad.
Yeah, Savannah, it's amazing how we just see each and every week the strategy. You kind of go in and say, this is what I want. But it actually is really something that's thought out and planned out every single week as Allie Harrell strikes out for the first out.
Absolutely. You know, we talked a little bit about what Morgan Zirkle wanted, and then when you talk about what Sierra Romero was looking for, it's different. Romero knew that she wanted some veterans. She wanted athletes who have either played together in the past or have really great relationships. Most of these people on the Orange squad have been on a team on the same roster at some point, and she wanted people who really allowed her to be herself. So to kind of fill you in on who she is in the dugout is Sierra Romero is very serious during games. She's a little bit quiet. She's, you know, sticks to herself. A little under the radar is really how she described herself and her team, and she wanted to draft a team that allowed her to be that way and also responded to someone like that as their captain, because everybody needs something a little bit different, and Romero was looking for that when she put together this Orange team. So they're all different. You can do it a lot of different ways, and it's interesting to see what comes together as successful at the end of a week.
And then, Savannah, I just want to preview just very briefly the next game that we have, because I think it's going to be a good one with Framo and Garcia. And we talked about the rookies that Zirkle drafted. How about Megan Framo? I'm just curious if she had a strategy, because all of her pitchers are rookies.
Yes, I think that is going to be the biggest storyline when we see this purple team come together in this next game. I'm really interested to see how she puts it together. One thing I will say about Framo is she did have that AUX experience to really get things underneath her. And she's confident. When she's on, and I think it's neat to see her take a chance on some athletes who are in the same situation that she is in their first year, their first outings as a pro.
Savannah, fantastic stuff as always.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Now, we just saw that pitching matchup, the captain's matchup. A couple of UCLA Bruin All-Americans doing their thing. That'll be in our nightcap. It's fitting that we're having the West Coasters, the captains, for our nightcap. So after the walk to Caroline Jacobson, Allie Harrell strikes out. Josie Muffley, a soft ground ball to short. And now one more out for Odyssey Alexander. It's the number 9 hitter, Sydney McKinney. McKinney just accepting a job on Morgan Zirkle's staff in Huntington, West Virginia. She's going to be an assistant coach. Allie Harrell, who made an out earlier this inning, also has committed to be on the staff for Morgan Zirkle. Like Morgan Zirkle, Allie Harrell played at Marshall. Sydney McKinney did not. She played at Wichita State, but she clearly has made an impression on Morgan Zirkle in the time they spent with each other this summer.
I think Athletes Unlimited should take a little bit of credit for this hire with Zirkle and McKinney. You know, these are two players that, you know, a generation apart, but mid-major superstars, absolutely both of them. I feel like Morgan Zirkle, you can also put Sam Fisher maybe in that conversation about being just the All-American, playing on Team USA, really getting that national recognition coming out of the mid-major program, and Morgan Zirkle looking for that and trying to find that in an assistant coach, and all of a sudden, hey, it's right here in front of me. It's Sydney McKinney. It's a no-brainer.
That pitch for Odyssey Alexander was her 51st pitch. Here's your coaching staff for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Morgan Zirkle calling the shots for the first time. She had been an assistant at Miami in Oxford, Ohio for the last 4 seasons. McKinney checks her swing in time. So it's another full count. 4 full counts. First time through the order for Odyssey Alexander. It's an important pitch. Got her. Strikes out McKinney with the captain Morgan Zirkle in the on-deck circle. So it took a while, but Odyssey Alexander puts a 0 on the scoreboard. The bottom of the second when we return. Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN is sponsored by Nike and by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. The joy is back. Athletes Unlimited Softball Championship season. This is the 4th go-round. Softball, the very first sport with Athletes Unlimited. First did it back in 2020 and going strong. Every championship season game has been played here in Rosemont. Actually, that's not going to be the case in a couple of days' time. Actually going to play a road game in Greenville, North Carolina. That's a story for a little bit later on. For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited Softball season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Heading into this week, 380 trees have been committed this season thanks to Aspiration's support. With Kenzie Fowler and Savannah Collins, I'm Eric Collins. Friday evening softball here in Chicagoland. Mia Davidson, Sydney Romero, and Megan Wiggins will bat against Alyssa Denham. We've got inning points on the line. Should Team Romero just get 1 run this inning, everyone on their roster will be plus 10 for winning the second inning. Davidson 2 for 9 last weekend with a homer. That homer had an exclamation point next to it. It was a grand slam. Enormous power for the North Carolina high school legend, Mia Davidson. Lashed into left field. Leadoff single for Davidson. Good start here in the second inning for Team Romero. Here's this week's Sunday Night Baseball matchup. Series finale between the Dodgers and the Padres at Petco. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown. Michael K. and A-Rod will have their K-Rod presentation on ESPN2. All right, let's see if Sydney Romero is thinking small ball. You need 1 run to win the inning. Nope, Romero takes a big hack, pops it into left field. Easy play for Lorenz. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I like the idea of the sac button. I'm with you on that, just because of the type of pitcher that Denham is, although she just did get a pop-up. But she's a pitcher that induces a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays. Davidson at first base, not a ton of speed. But for Denham, that's a nice quick out. Love that as a pitcher. 1 pitch. Thank you very much.
Here's Megan Wiggins. I'm not afraid to say it. One of my all-time favorites. Now in her 13th professional season. I'll argue all day long that no one loves the game more than Megan Wiggins.
Well, you've got the years under your belt to prove it as a professional. I think it's more of a fact maybe than an opinion.
Game loves her back too.
That's right.
You play the game the right way, good things happen. She was one of the original stars at Georgia. Put that program on the map. Wiggins beginning the weekend 46th out of 60 players on the leaderboard. 1 for 8 last weekend. A little extra responsibility for Wiggins this weekend. Last handful of seasons with Athletes Unlimited, we've seen her almost exclusively play right field, sometimes left, but rarely center. But it looks as if she's going to be the everyday center fielder this weekend for Team Romero. So a little bit more responsibility for her defensively.
Played really well in AUX earlier this summer. I believe finished top 5. For a position player, it's anytime you're within the top 10, it's impressive.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Denham lost her. So the walk is a +8 for Wiggins. Runners on at first and at second with 1 out. First walk allowed by Denham. All right, we got 2 Texans doing work. Shannon Rhodes, last year's Rookie of the Year, steps to the plate. She's from Fort Worth. Alyssa Denham is from Alvin. And with a tip to the greatest pitcher from Alvin, Texas, a 65-mile-an-hour heater for Alyssa Denham. Nolan Ryan is from Alvin, Texas.
That was going to be my guess, just because you think of Texas, and knowing you're going way back with greatest of all time, all expanding the dictionary or whatever you want to call it, encyclopedia of players. So that was my thought.
Hey, you got like.
I'm glad you didn't ask me though. I was a little nervous.
You got Sam Houston, you got Stephen F. Austin, you got these legendary Texans, and you got Nolan Ryan. He's up there. Just a mythical figure in the state of Texas. Ball gets away, and Davidson's going to take an extra base. Gutsy base running. But that is big. So now runners on at second and third with just one out.
Well, I'm up here wondering, is that a stolen base for Davidson? You can see the read. I'm not sure what happened with that pitch with Svekis and Denham. It looked a little bit of a miscommunication. I would probably rule that a pass ball if I had to score things.
What a big pitch for Denham. She strikes out Rhodes. There are now 2 outs. The official score has just decided it's a pass ball.
Okay.
So it's not a stolen base,
Yep.
It's a pass ball. No points are awarded. And now there's 2 outs, and Sasha Palacios, the last hope for Team Romero. In the air, left field, easy play. Lorenz, side is retired. So the leadoff single by Davidson goes by the wayside. It's another 0 put up by Alyssa Denham. We'll have a rollover 20 points on the line when we come back.
Being a captain is being a leader, and I think being a leader is being someone on the field who's, always giving 100%, but also someone who is helping everyone else get to that top level of performance. Being a positive, upbeat person to get your team motivated to win and perform and hopefully make the right decisions along the way. The goal every week is to be in that top 3 or 4 spots, so it means a lot to be there.
Morgan Zirkle doing everything from A to Z. She has picked up 28 points already today. She drew a walk, she stole a base, and because of her daring do on the base pass, she scored on a sacrifice fly and gave her team an inning win, which is a +10. So the +28 has jumped her up into the number 2 spot on the leaderboard. She began today 3rd on the leaderboard, but she has leapfrogged over Sierra Romero. That's how it works.
Whew. It's live math right there.
Oh, actually, they're tied. Leapfrog, that's not quite alphabetical order, but Zirkle and Romero both with 408 points right now as we speak. And an inning win is on the line, a double inning. So this is 20 points for whichever team wins the inning. There are your 2 captains. Sierra Romero at second base, Zirkle in the batter's box. All right, Kenzie, talk about Odyssey Alexander and what you've seen through her first 2 innings.
Yeah, I mean, right now, second time through the lineup here, so you can see her shaking off a couple of pitches, falling behind, 2 balls, no strikes. And Morgan Zirkle as a hitter, as a pitcher, you just don't want to be pitching from behind because she's so fast, so dynamic, has gap power, home run power. Just missing a couple of pitches, and it's the side-to-side stuff. It's not the up and down, it's the get ahead, the screwball and the curveball just haven't really been there for a strike to help set up that rise ball, the changeup.
Now the first 2 pitches to Zirkle were balls, but she's come back to even the count, 2-2. Zirkle, Amanda Lorenz, Danielle Gibson, 3 left-handed batters against Alexander here in the 3rd. It's very similar to what we saw the first time Odyssey and Zirkle matched up in the 1st inning, and extended it back for Zirkle, eventually resulted in a walk. Could have been ball 4 that Zirkle slaps foul.
Yeah, Morgan Zirkle, not a hitter as a pitcher that you want to walk and give a free pass to, especially with her speed, and then it's so smart of her as a captain to put Amanda Lorenz behind her, someone who's maybe the most disciplined player, allow her to see a lot of pitches, have the opportunity to steal bases. I think that's so important. She puts the bat on the ball so well. Just knowing your ability yourself and then your teammate behind you.
Another walk for Zirkle. So she had to put the ball in play, and she's already got plus 16 with 2 walks next to her name. Well, into the game. Let's do it with Odyssey Alexander.
Well, I don't know.
No, you're fine. Come here. You do know. Go back to your fundamentals. You're trying to do too much right now.
I think I'm just in my head with the sequence part.
Sequence with what? The pitch calling?
Yeah. Yes, Sashi. Yes, baby.
So Odyssey Alexander is going to come out of the game, but I want to finish up her first 2 innings and what she was talking about. She was talking about sequence. What was she mentioning there, Kenzie?
Yeah, just trying to get on the same page as your catcher and what the setup pitches are and what you're comfortable with getting ahead of. And sometimes it's hard if you're maybe missing a pitch or a pitch is lacking in, movement or speed, and so you have to go to something else. And it was just that east to west stuff. She wasn't getting the backdoor curve, wasn't getting the screwball on the outside part of the plate. So then what do you go to? What's plan B? And sometimes if you have a catcher that maybe you don't have the chemistry, or you're not having those months that are built up, and so they know what they need to call when you're struggling a little bit, sometimes that can be that frustration part. And it's a performance for her that she threw so well last weekend. I'm not really worried about her at all. I think, I'll be honest, I personally, in my opinion, think she's better in a closer situation than she is as a starter, because she's just got that mentality where she flips it on and turns on the velocity. Sometimes, you have a starter and you have a different mentality, but I'm not worried about her performance too much.
So the walk allowed to Zirkle, and Alexander comes out of the game. She's replaced by Taylor McQuillan.
And this is going to be a completely different look. So this is a great move by the captain, Sierra Romero. A lefty, has high velo, throws to the different side of the plate. You see to the righty, she's going to work the outside part of the zone with the backdoor curve, a screwball. And another pitcher, I mean, we're going to say this a couple of times because of just what the pitchers were providing last weekend. She was locked in. Drop ball, rise ball, curve ball. Also has a good off-speed option as well.
So lefty-lefty now. Amanda Lorenz steps in, takes first pitch 65 miles per hour outside. Lorenz, her first time up, did not hit the ball hard, but she got a single. Got it through the left side of the infield. With that base hit, Lorenz has now been aboard 10 times in 13 plate appearances so far with Athletes Unlimited Softball's championship season. Two and one. Healthy cut right back to the screen. High and deep down the right field line. It is going to fade foul.
That's a great pitch. I'm always thinking of things from a pitcher's perspective. I know it looks good. It sounded good off the bat. That's a great pitch as a pitcher. 2 strikes. This is where you want to put this. That is almost in the box, and it's just impressive knowing that Amanda Lorenz has the ability to get to this at all. That is Taylor McQuillan knowing how good she is inside, still going there, but it's enough. It's a foul ball, and now it's the sequence. It's the setup. What comes next? That ball was in the batter's box. But it's where you have to put it to Amanda Lorenz. She's so good. She might have the quickest hands in AU.
We've talked to her in years past. She said she actually relishes hitting with 2 strikes.
And that, I don't like that as a pitcher. If a hitter says that, I'm like, I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel very comfortable.
Count goes full, 3-2. Still nobody out. Runner on at first base, Morgan Zirkle, one of the fastest runners in the game today.
Been watching Sachelle Palacios behind the plate. She's been keeping her eye on Zirkle at first base. Good time to go here. You know Lorenz is going to get a pitch to hit.
Lorenz walks. So back-to-back walks, one by Odyssey Alexander, one by Taylor McQuillan. And there's now 2 aboard with nobody out for Danielle Gibson. Our summer soccer schedule continues tomorrow on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes with La Liga doubleheader from Oracle Park in San Francisco starting at 7 Eastern. Real Betis going to take on Real Sociedad. Then Atletico Madrid squares off against Sevilla. Another great night of soccer. Both preseason friendlies are available on ESPN Plus. They call them friendlies. Here's Danielle Gibson. She walked back in the first inning. We've already had 5 walks, 11 batters into the game for Team Zirkle. 5 walks and just 1 single. That was by Amanda Lorenz on a ball that bounced probably 5 times before it got to the outfield grass. So they're not hitting it hard, but they've had a ton of traffic. Nice job of framing by Palacios, maybe to steal a strike. Inside out of that.
Well, it just feels like one of those games where there's a little bit slow start. Everyone's trying to get their feel. Pitchers and catchers trying to get on the same page. We're going to be talking about this all weekend, but we have 3 new captains. So that's always something that I'm going to kind of just make a little note of, because I think it comes down to writing down the lineups and having that leadership, putting people in the right spots. There's so much that goes into that.
1-2 pitch. A little bit inside. McQuillan wanted it.
Me too. I'm laughing at Megan Wiggins in center field. She walks to halfway to second base with her hands in the air. I mean, that's strike 3 for me.
Popped in the air. Wind may be a factor. Foul territory. Oh, man, the wind just took that. I thought that was going to be playable for Romero, and it ended up 5 feet out of play. Wind gusting from center field down to the third base line.
And so this is, as a pitcher, I would want somebody to tell me. Hey, the wind just picked up and it's blowing this way. Because you can allow yourself to throw maybe a little bit more over the heart of the plate on the outside corner to Danielle Gibson. That ball may go a little bit more foul.
"13-mile-an-hour winds" is what we're being told. Those are big flags. And they're stiff. Good golly, these hitters are good. 1 through 9 seemingly. Team Zirkle just great at bats. Foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. This is going to be the 9th pitch of this at bat. Still nobody out. High drive, playable. Shannon Rhodes makes the catch. Look at Zirkle go. Special thinking player Morgan Zirkle takes an extra 60 feet, and now she's as close as she can get to home plate. Not going to be scored a sacrifice fly, but it does the job of a sacrifice fly of advancing the runner.
The head coach has wheels. And I feel like maybe Danielle Gibson thought she hit that a little bit better than it resulted, but again, it's the wind. Advantage pitcher in that situation.
Well, Delaney Wiz had a sacrifice fly her first time up. Fly ball here would do the exact same thing. Put the ball in play and quite possibly score a run and give yourself a chance for an inning win. This is a rollover inning. Whoever wins this 3rd inning, everyone on the team will be plus 10 for winning the 2nd and the 3rd inning. Oh, and 2. A couple of Pac-12 players. McQuillan, Arizona. Wiz, UCLA.
Palacios at Arizona State. And a trio.
Oh my goodness, how did she foul that off? I think it was going to hit her, and she protected herself.
These hitters are so good. These are the best of the best, and they're so hard to put away. And that can be frustrating as a pitcher. These are, you know, the best of the best pitchers in our game, and they're so accustomed to having those strikeouts, and it could be frustrating and get in your head a little bit.
Called strike 3. That is big for McQuillan.
She is so good at hitting that spot, low in the zone. That's lefty on righty. Confidence in this pitch with 2 strikes to Delaney Wiz, who's been swinging the bat very well.
And then the reverse flex that McQuillan's known for. Here's Gwen Svekis, tough customer. Softly, second baseman Urtez steps on the bag, and the side is retired. Good job of putting out the fire. Taylor McQuillan puts a 0 on the scoreboard. Welcome back, everyone. We've made it to the bottom of the 3rd inning. First game of our week 2 action here in Rosemont, Illinois. Team Zirkle leads Team Romero 1-0. But this is a rollover situation. 80 points are on the line. We're going to talk to Danielle Gibson right now. She's from Murrieta, California. That is a wonderful softball playing community. Played at Arkansas where she put up massive numbers in her time there. Has a little bit of a Pac-12 experience. And this is now her second season here with Athletes Unlimited. Danielle, how you doing over there at first base? Danielle, can you hear us?
Look, that plane is loud.
Yeah, it is.
It's like loud takeoff there. I can barely hear myself.
Danielle, can you hear us?
I don't hear anything.
Danielle, we're going to try one more time. Can you hear us? I guess it's not going to work. We'll try that again. All right, so that's a tease. We'll talk to Danielle Gibson in a bit.
We were having some conversation in the half inning, so maybe those planes will get you.
Yeah, we are super close to O'Hare Airport here in Chicago. One of the busiest airports in the world. Planes come nice and low. All right, it's going to be the top of the order. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, Bubba Nichols, Anissa Urtez. Batting against Alyssa Denham. 2 scoreless innings for Denham. She's given up 2 hits and she's walked 1. And she has struck out 1. That's the first 9 batters that she's faced. Slapped into left field. Little humpback liner. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter is aboard. Second consecutive inning that the leadoff batter is on for Team Romero.
This game has felt long, even though we are only here in the 3rd inning. There's just been so many opportunities since the first pitch. I feel like since Morgan Zirkle's been on base in her first at bat of this game, and it's just, I'm kind of waiting for one of these teams to capitalize and get that big hit. It's the only thing that's been missing.
Bubba Nichols had a single back in the 1st inning. Ball 1 to Bubba. From Merced, California. One of the all-time greats as a high school player. Made the natural move to UCLA. She's part of that 2019 National Championship team. And she's had a good ball game. Already 2 hits, 3 innings into our game. 1st and 2nd with nobody out.
I feel like both of her singles is just very much of who Bubba Nichols has been her entire career. It's not, you know, the biggest hit, the loudest hit, but it's the hits that's needed and just so well executed. Simple. There's nothing flashy with her. Drive it up the middle, inside pitch, turn on it to the left side, get through the 5-6 hole. And when you're facing Alyssa Denham, you know that the ball's going to be low in the zone. And so you have to do something as a hitter to make sure that you're not rolling over a ground ball and you're not hitting that weak contact. You're getting that solid contact. And whatever Bubba Nichols has in her scouting report against Alyssa Denham, she needs to pass on throughout the rest of this team.
I just saw an example of some old school fast pitch right there with Urtez trying to lay down a bunt. Now swinging away, pounds it foul. Urtez is hitting in the 3 spot. Normally your power situation in the lineup, but with runners on at 1st and at 2nd and nobody out, the goal just to get 1 run right now, and that would be a +20 for everyone on Team Romero. That's why you saw the bunt on the 1st pitch from Urtez. That's why softball was played forever until relatively recently. Oh, good eye for the veteran.
Well, Nisa Urtez from Utah, and Utah so good at their small ball. It's a big part of their game, and so she's very comfortable with that situation. Even though she is the 3-hitter that's looking to drive in runs, she can do that as well.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Denham is dreaming of rolling a ground ball here. Little looper. down the right field line. And the play is made. Jacobson quickly guns it back into the infield. No damage done. 1 out. Everyone loves to Rupp Athletes Unlimited, and you can too. Be sure to check out the new AU softball merch for this season, including personalized player tees. Go to shop.auprosports.com to get yours today. I was checking out auprosports.com, and I saw a fantastic video. Amanda Lorenz showing off her fit. And she's got a ton of personality and loves the color pink. On the ground, should be 2. Wiz steps on the bag, double play. 5-3 twin kill, and the 3rd inning is over. Alyssa Denham wanted the double play. She got it.
This inning started with 2 runners on and no outs, and Alyssa Denham is able to do exactly what she does best. That's roll a ground ball, and they get out of the jam.
Well, we have a triple rollover inning. This 4th inning is going to be a +30 for any team that wins this 4th inning. A lot on the line. The Liberty going to highlight our big game next Sunday, coming up in 2 days' time on ABC. Asia Wilson and the Aces going to take on the New York Liberty. 2 teams with the best records in the W. Coverage tips 3 Eastern, noon Pacific from Barclays Center. Taylor McQuillan earned her meal money an inning ago. Came out of the bullpen with a runner on at first, had to face Lorenz, Gibson, and Wiz. And she got a 0 on the board. Saved the ERA of Odyssey Alexander, who was responsible for Zirkle on at first. Big time atta girl for Taylor McQuillan. Here's the rookie, Caroline Jacobson. This is the bottom portion of the lineup for Team Zirkle with a lot of youth. Jacobson, Harrell in her 2nd season, Muffley and McKinney. Jacobson, Muffley, and McKinney, all true rookies. Off-speed pitch, a beauty. Learned that in Tucson with Mike Candrea.
I like it. Game 1, already dropping coach's name. I'm here for it. You can drop his name anytime.
My only beef with Mike Candrea is he always came up, we're talking about the head coach forever, formerly at University of Arizona. He would make out his lineup card like 10 minutes before the game.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting ready to do games, and you want to have as much preparation as you can, and who's playing where, and write your scorecard.
Oh,
you
yeah.
like watch batting practice, say, you're hitting 3rd. No, you're hitting 8th, and change everything around. And it was so hard to get ready for an Arizona Wildcat game. But it was worth it because it was so much fun watching that electric environment down there in Tucson and the great players that have rolled through that Arizona program. You being one of them, Kenzie Fowler.
Thank you, thank you. But, I mean, a little bit older than Taylor here, and I can attest to Coach holding his lineup a little bit, especially as a broadcaster, too. I can look at it as a player. He would always really just analyze our BP swings, and if something wasn't right, he would wait and just to make sure everything was exactly how he wanted it. And then as I graduate and things roll on, and now I'm broadcasting, I'm like, Coach, man, you got to speed things up a little bit. I'm sitting here waiting for this lineup 10 minutes before our open.
Called strike 3, and Jacobson is out number 1 here in the 4th inning. Athletes Unlimited at Topps have unveiled the first ever set of player trading cards that feature all 4 Athletes Unlimited sports combined in one set. The 200-card set features 185 athletes from the 2022 seasons, and it's available at Target, Barnes & Noble, hobby shops, and throughout Topps.com and Fanatics.com. They're everywhere, so get your set today. It's pretty cool.
Well, what I think is really unique is that when you get a package, you have multiple sports in the package, and you're not really sure who you're going to get. So you have the element of surprise, but I think it's, showcasing the different sports that Athletes Unlimited is putting on, the lacrosse, volleyball, softball, basketball, you name it. And they're all here in this package. This is pretty cool.
Kind of like a box of chocolates, right? Never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's like in Harry Potter, when you have the chocolate frogs, you don't know what you're going to get. Is that what it was?
That's what's beautiful about working with you, Kenzie Fowler, is we got a couple different generations. I'm giving Forrest Gump references.
I'll do Harry Potter. Yeah.
A little something for everyone.
Yeah, I think it was Harry Potter. You open the chocolate frog, and it's like you have a different wizard, and you didn't know who it was going to be. And I feel like that's kind of like with the Topps here. I'm opening 2 different packages, and they're both different.
There's no gum, am I right?
There's no gum. No, there's
Saving
no gum.
the teeth of all of America's youth. McQuillan now has back-to-back strikeouts to begin our 4th inning. Here's Josie Muffley. Skies it into center field. Remember, there's a lot of wind, but making it look like a pro. And Isa Urtez, one of the best glove meisters to ever play the game of fast pitch. A quick inning for McQuillan. Halfway through our game, it is a 1-0 Team Zirkle lead over Team Romero. This is a triple rollover inning. Should Team Romero score just 1 run, everyone on Team Romero will be a +30 for technically winning the 2nd, the 3rd, and now this 4th inning. Alyssa Denham, no worse for the wear. Denham so far through the first 3 innings has given up 4 base hits, but all of them have been singles, and she got that inning-ending double play back in the 3rd. With Kenzie Fowler and Savannah Collins, I'm Eric Collins. Mia Davidson will lead things off, followed by Sydney Romero and Megan Wiggins. Now Davidson's going to go home. Davidson is from just outside of Durham. She's from Hillsborough, North Carolina. On Tuesday, this entire operation is going to head to Greenville, North Carolina, and play a doubleheader. It's going to be a lot of fun. More on that. But we're going to talk to Danielle Gibson. Danielle, can you hear us?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. Yes, it's all working.
Perfect. Perfect.
It's worth the wait.
It sure is. It sure is.
Danielle, I want to ask you about the wind. It seems like it's gusting. Is it, we're told it's about 15 miles an hour. Is that About right?
Yeah, that seems about right. We're in the windy city, so unfortunately it's expected. I hope one day the wind will blow out for us hitters. You know, I feel like it's only blowing in, so.
I've been talking about how the wind kind of changes what a pitcher does and the result. Does it change any aspect of your hitting?
I mean, a little bit. I definitely don't want to hit into the wind. However, I'm not going to try and change my approach just based off of the weather, unfortunately. But I mean, as long as I feel like I'm seeing the ball. Josie! Great job. Stop. If it's windy, I'll try and just get the top of it, but other than that.
Stay on that, watch change up here and pitch it this way so you have to get out and get that.
Yep. Also, never know, early to squeeze. Okay.
I think that's wonderful. You're talking to Josie Muffley, who is a rookie in this league, and looks like she's got a pretty good idea of the scouting report. Is that unusual, Danielle?
Not for her. I expected nothing less. Oh yeah. Here we go.
You guys are on it. Yeah.
Here we go.
They called it.
Yeah.
On it, baby.
Good job. Yeah, she's brilliant. This is my first time playing with her, and I get to play next to her. And it's been, especially all these rookies on the team, I'm excited to play with. Seeing Carol just go in a deep count, it like makes me so happy for her.
Sydney Romero takes a bruise. It's going to be a +8 for her. Runner on at first with 1 out. Danielle, this is your second full season now with Athletes Unlimited. We always talk about points, positive and negative, all that kind of stuff. Do you guys talk about the fact that this inning is worth 30 points? Is that cognizant for everyone on the field right now?
I think it's in the back of our head. I think we're not trying to put too much weight on the inning. But I mean, we're only up 1-0. And we want to make sure that we obviously keep scoring as many runs. But obviously we don't want to miss out on points just based off of winning the game. And, at the end of the day, if we can win innings, and not win innings but win the game, you're playing the point system right. Winning is always good. So
We were talking about how many rookies are on your team, and that was you a season ago. Do you feel different now that it's year 2?
Come on. Good pitch. I definitely feel more comfortable in this league. I feel like last year I got a little bit out of myself just based off of playing with some of my idols. And so this year, it's funny, we talked about this today as a team. I had a conversation with my dad in about April, and he goes, Danielle, you've made it. Just enjoy where you are. And so that's kind of the name of my season this year, is just enjoying where I am, understanding that this is the highest level, and enjoying that, not just putting so much pressure on myself to perform, but just being able to play with all these women who know so much and keep learning and being a student of the game.
Danielle, I'm a big student of pretty swings, and I love your swing. I think it is one of the most fluid swings I've ever seen. You talked about playing with some of your idols. Is there anyone in particular that you feel? Wouldn't you know it? Shannon Rhodes into center field makes the play. That's going to be a story for another day. Next time we talk to Danielle, I wanted to ask about your favorite swing of anyone you've ever seen.
She's right here. She's
really?
my favorite swing.
Amanda Lorenz!
Yeah.
Oh, great!
Yes.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much. Great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Technical Sergeant Eric Holman. I'm a recruiter with the Maryland Air National Guard. The Air National Guard's motto is to always be ready and always be there. We proudly partner with Athletes Unlimited, who support players who are always ready to compete for the top spot. Let's find out who climbed their way up the leaderboard rankings and earned themselves the title of Air National Guard's Mover of the Week.
Well done. It's going to be Sierra Romero. She moved up 39 spots last week to become a captain for the very first time. Went from 41st to 2nd. 5 hits in 3 games, including a double and a triple. And, oh, by the way, a squeeze to win a ball game. Don't see that a lot. Sierra Romero, one of the greatest power hitters the game has ever seen, wins a game with a squeeze, whatever it takes.
She came out swinging last weekend, was aggressive early in her at-bats. And look, when you have the most MVP points, you're going to jump up that leaderboard. It's all about being impactful, so you get those big MVP points.
That's a fair ball, and Romero is handcuffed. She was looking into the sun. That is always super hard over at first base. The ball handcuffed her, and it's going to be a leadoff batter aboard in Sydney McKinney.
Sydney McKinney is so dynamic. She has so many tools. She's a 5-tool player. Look at the speed down the line. I think she beats this out whether Romero catches this or not. See the sunglasses fighting the sun a little bit at at first base, covering from second.
There goes McKinney.
Yep.
On the very first pitch, she steals second. So that is a +10 for McKinney. She's playing just like her captain wants her to. Morgan Zirkle's in the batter's box right now, clapping that McKinney stole a base.
This is exactly what Morgan Zirkle does. She loves it. That's why she won Sydney McKinney, not only on her team here at Athletes Limited, but coaching with her at Marshall.
So now a lot of options for Zirkle. Yep. Tries to lay down a bunt. That would be productive for her. A successful sacrifice is +10. And you want to get the runner over to third with just 1 out. There's a lot of really smart players, but Zirkle's on that short list with Aubrey Leach, with Victoria Hayward, with Hannah Flippin, with some people who just really understand how to play Athletes Unlimited softball. Official score has ruled that ball hit by McKinney is going to be scored an error. So it's not a single for McKinney, so she was hoping for 10 points, didn't get it. That affects McQuillan because that base runner is not her responsibility now. Because the runner reached on an error, if that runner scores, it's an unearned run. If pitchers give up a run, it is a -10. For every out that pitchers record, it is a +4. That's the formula.
That's a big call. Error versus base hit. Live, I think, I mean, I need a replay to see it. That's how close it was. Live, I thought she was safe no matter what.
Ball and 2 strikes. Morgan Zirkle hasn't hit the ball in play yet so far today, but already has 2 walks, +8, and she's stolen a base. Off-speed pitch, a beauty. Wow! What a changeup, and Zirkle is the first out here in the 5th inning.
Huge pitch for McQuillan, pulling the string. Turns to Palacio, says, good job, love this call. Look at that ball just cover the plate, drifting from inside to Zirkle, outside. She's just trying to tap and go, and she is frustrated about that one. And as a pitcher, I can tell you, those are the hardest hitters to put away. So that feels so good for McQuillan.
There's a steamer. 0-1 to Amanda Lorenz. Amanda Lorenz has the prettiest swing that Danielle Gibson has ever seen. Danielle Gibson is in the on-deck circle.
Such a good little moment.
Lorenz hasn't been retired so far today. A single and a walk. That walk that she worked in the 3rd, her 6th in 4 games. So she's got 5 hits and 6 walks in 4 games. This is the highest level of softball, folks. She's not back at Florida or in Moore Park, California. This is Athletes Unlimited. It's not supposed to be this easy. I think Palacios may have stolen a strike for it. 2-2.
But it's the face right there of Lorenz in the box. There's no panic. Yeah, okay, that was a strike. I didn't like it as a hitter. No big deal. Drop it onto the next pitch. Just knowing how capable she is with 2 strikes and not having panic.
A little bit further outside, doesn't get the call, and it's now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on at second base, McKinney, who can scoop.
And you'll see hitters sometimes, they'll take a pitch and they don't like the call, but you're not going to deviate ever from what you know your strike zone is. I mean, she knows who she is. She's the Amanda Lorenz. They call her Mandy Softball for a reason. And even though, you know, a pitch here, a pitch there, you know you can just throw your bat at that last pitch, cover a foul ball if you need to, protect, until you get the pitch that you want. Right there. Not a hittable pitch, but just a little hand eye. Let me get rid of this one. I'm going to put the pressure on McQuillan. Make her make a mistake to me.
Lorenz has played 4 complete seasons with Athletes Unlimited, either championship seasons or AUX seasons. And she's finished in the top 20 on the leaderboard each and every time. Nails. Ooh, got her! Beautiful pitch by McQuillan. Back-to-back strikeouts of Zirkle and now Lorenz.
It was the same pitch that Lorenz took a couple of strikes ago. She doesn't like it. McQuillan does. Lefty on lefty, that's tough. That curveball's cutting all the way on the other side of the plate for Lorenz in the box.
McQuillan's faced 10 batters. She struck out 5 of them. Here's Danielle Gibson. Gibson thought that she hit a ball probably harder than she got the result for her last time up. She hit a ball that we thought was at least going to make to the warning track, and it was caught in medium deep right field.
Just flat out died.
Look at Palacios, so soft. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Palacios and McQuillan have worked together a lot with Team Mexico and playing on the Olympic roster together, so there's a lot of trust in this battery.
High drive, center field, and again, it's gonna die in the glove of Shannon Rhodes. Oh, Danielle Gibson, try a different direction.
Bro, let me be you, bro. That's what I'm talking about with Mama Stew. Mama Stew. I love stew. You know what? You like stew?
Yeah.
My grandma make the best stew. That and baby, you look so good up there. Love that. There you go. That look like the butt cheek? Huh? That looked like the butt cheek. That was a butt cheek? Hip cheek? Oh, okay. You went like that. So.
I bet you didn't know that players talk about stew when they're on the field. But Odyssey Alexander was talking stew when Kelsey Stewart-Hunter got to first base.
I love that. Called her Mama Stu.
Well, she is a mom.
That's right.
Kelsey Stewart-Hunter and her son Trace, along with her husband, here in Rosemont this year. All right, we got a new pitcher to tell you about. Georgina Korick comes on, and she's going to have a tough act to follow. She replaces Alyssa Denham, who threw 4 shutout innings. Korick will face Sasha Palacios, and then the top of the order, Stewart-Hunter and Bubba Nichols.
I think this is a very proactive pitching change for Team Zirkle. You look at the 9-hole here with Palacios, and then like you're talking about rolling it over to the top. And yes, Denham was doing her thing and keeping this game scoreless, but you look at who you have on your bench, and why not? Georgina Korick, she's been dominant and had her moments as well as Alyssa Denham. You keep her keep her feeling confident as well. I think that's important because it's game 1 of a long weekend. You look at the breakdown here from Georgina. Gonna throw a little bit more curveballs than we saw from Alyssa Denham. It's a good rise ball as well, and she pounds the zone, does not mess around.
What do you look at as more important when you see both velocity, or everyone says nowadays velo, or spin rate? What do you think is there one more impressive to you than the other?
Well, they go hand in hand to me. I always hear this question, and spin doesn't, or speed doesn't matter, but it does, because if you don't have the speed, that you're not going to have a lot of spin on your ball. So just because you're not throwing 72, 73, you can still be very effective. But Georgina Korick, she's spinning the ball very well. But you're not going to be able to do that unless you throw hard, if that makes sense, if you follow. So to me, they go together. It's just how we break down with how many different rotations. You think about maybe like a Rachel Garcia versus a Brooke Yanez. Brooke Yanez going to be low 60s. Garcia's going to be upper 70s. Both very effective, righty versus lefty. I'm just going complete opposites here. But you've got to be able to throw hard to spin the ball hard.
Stewart really battling. There is 40 points on the line. The second, third, and fourth inning, no one scored. So whoever scores this inning, and the only chance to score is going to be Team Romero because it's the bottom of the 5th. They could get 40 points with just 1 run. 1 out, pop up to the shortstop, McKinney. Well, looking to win a cool piece of AU softball memorabilia. Here's your chance. Opportunity to win a signed ball by 2022 champion Deja Mulipola. Go to auprosports.com/sweepstakes for rules and regulations and to register to win today. We've had 3 complete championship seasons. You got Kat Osterman, you got the 2-way player Alicia Casio, and last year a true position player in Deja Mulipola.
You look at the different breakdown. I just love how different each one of these players, do their thing. Of course, Kat Osterman, we all know, dominant pitcher. Alicia Ocasio, 2-way player. We got to see her swing the bat a lot in that 2021 season. And then Deja comes out with the position player, has to defend that again this season.
And Deja's going to swing an angry bat this weekend. I was looking at her numbers. She was 2 for 9 in the opening weekend and is 51st out of 60 players on the leaderboard. Good job by Korick. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 pitches to strike out the Olympian, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter.
She's so confident on this side of the plate. Righty on lefty. You could see where Gwen Svekis was set up. She was almost set up so far inside that she's behind Kelsey Stewart. She can't believe it. I'm telling you, as a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter, that is a pitch that you just have to have 100% confidence in. There is little room for error on that pitch.
Bubba Nichols is yet to be retired. She's probably wishing Alyssa Denham was still in the game. She's really the only person who had sustained success against Denham. A single in the first, a single in the third for Nichols. Well fouled. The only run of our game scored at the top of the first inning. Morgan Zirkle walked, stole a base. Lorenz had a base hit. Eventually the run scored on a Delaney whiz fly ball to left. The only run of the game, scoring on a sacrifice fly in the top of the first.
I don't even really remember that either. It's like, it feels like it was so long ago, and it happened so quickly in the first inning, and then the rest of the game has just been what it is. This back and forth pitcher's duel with a lot of runners left on.
Did she? Nope. Peeled out of first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Going with the off speed. Good call.
3-2. Never had a chance. So that's the first base runner allowed by Corrick. And the perfection continues for Bubba Nichols. 2 singles and now a walk. That is a +10, +10, +8. She's +28 on the day in stat points. Anissa Urtez, ball 1. Urtez, the only player in the history of Athletes Unlimited to have the initials AU. For those of you paying attention to those type of things. Hey, hey!
The Cubs would be proud. That's why you bring your glove.
You said you used to grow up going to Arizona Wildcat games. Did you bring your glove when you went to Wildcat games back in your youth?
I don't think I ever did. No, Hillenbrand had those really high, nets all the way to the side.
That's your excuse, huh?
Maybe.
I'm never going to get one anyway.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness, Corrick just painting. She gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, both of them caught looking. Stuart Hunter and then Anissa Urtez. So another 0 put up on the board. We're gonna have 50 rollover points when we come back for inning number 6. Look at that, bunch of zeros since that first inning. Team Zirkle trying to hang on, a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning. We've got Sunday Night Baseball matchup coming your way in 2 days' time. Series finale between the Dodgers and the Padres at Petco, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. With baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Michael K. and A-Rod will have a K-Rod presentation on ESPN2. You just saw Team Paremo getting loose. Looking on, they will take on Team Garcia. That is 2 captains, both from UCLA. That's what we're looking forward to. But right now, we've got a pitcher's duel. The only run of the game coming in the top of the first. Delaney Wiz, Gwen Speckis, Caroline Jacobson will bat here in the 6th inning against Taylor McQuillan. High drive into the wind. Wiggins plays it perfectly. Taylor McQuillan has looked like the combination of Jenny Finch, Alicia Hollowell, Taryn Mowat, Danielle O'Toole, and Kenzie Fowler, and all the greats from Arizona. Did I say Taryn Mowat?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I didn't want to forget Taryn Mowat. Folks, you don't remember Taryn Mowat, one of the best changeups and definitely the guttiest pitcher out there for years, just taking the ball and cooking it until it was done. 250 pitches, College World Series, night in and night out.
Taryn's listening.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she tweeted at me that she caught my Harry Potter reference, and I know she's a big Harry Potter fan, so I'm really excited about that. Somebody caught it. We were talking about the Topps cards, and I was relating them to the I don't know what they're called, chocolate
I think
frogs.
one of the great things about Taryn Mowat that I like to pass it on, she was not huge. She was not a tall pitcher, short right-hander, in a time when it was usually all tall pitchers, tall, lanky, long levers. But she made it happen. Proved you could do it at any size. Megan Wiggins, again, dealing with the wind. 2 outs. All right, look at this. We're talking about some of the greatest of the great at the high school level. Taylor McQuillan, Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. Rachel Garcia was as well. Bubba Nichols. That's back-to-back-to-back years. 2014, 2016. Megan Farimo did it in 2018. But look at that, bottom of the screen. The most important thing, the only Gatorade High School National Player of the Year twice. She's in the booth with me this weekend. She's in the booth with me here. Kenzie Fowler, you were all that in a bag of chips back in your scholastic days.
This one caught me off guard. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know this.
Come on.
I mean, this is great company that I'm in. So anytime I can be mentioned with those 4 women, I'm in.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And then you had an All-American career at Arizona, a couple of All-Americans next to your name. Great times. You enjoying this?
Oh, I love it. There's nothing like being up here calling a game, and of course I miss my playing days, but I kind of feel like this is where I'm meant to be. I don't know what it is, if it's, you get to have the reactions, but also tell the stories of the athletes that you're covering, and especially when you're getting to cover a league like this. Hello, this is our game at its best. So you're telling me I get to sit up here with you and talk a little softball, break down the plays that we're watching? Watch some Taylor McQuillan.
Woohoo! She has been fantastic. Only needs 9 pitches to strike out and retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning. Still, that pitcher's duel, 1-0 is our score. Bottom of the 6th when we come back. This is the way that every game of fast pitch used to be played. Tight, close, low scoring. It's 1-0 as we play the bottom of the 6th inning. Team Zirkle trying to hang on like a cat on a screen door. Our summer soccer schedule continues tomorrow on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes with the La Liga doubleheader from Oracle Park in San Francisco starting at 7. Real Betis going to take on Real Sociedad. And then Atletico Madrid squares off against Sevilla. Another great night of soccer. And both preseason friendlies are available on ESPN+. Let's start to get a bit late here for Team Romero. This is going to be 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Batting against Georgina Koric is maybe their last best opportunity to get a scratch. Sierra Romero, the captain, has only been to the plate twice. She's accounted for 3 outs. Remember, she hit into the double play in the 3rd. Good eye. Georgina Koric coming on an inning ago in relief of Alyssa Denham. Denham 4 shutout innings. Full count, 3-2.
I know this is game 1, but this might be the most important game of the weekend just because of the way the points are going to swing. I feel like when you have a couple of innings that roll over and you have the win, of course, hanging, that could be a 100-point swing here for the next couple of innings.
Let's check in with Savannah Collins.
Thanks, Eric. You saw after that walk, Georgina Koric kind of motioned to her catcher, her infield, hey, my bad. She's one whose confidence really doesn't get shaken very often, and that really attributes to the work she put in this past offseason. She was phenomenal in her AUX debut last year, and there were some things that she knew that she wanted to add to her arsenal. She wanted to add a drop ball, an off-speed drop. That's something to watch out for this season. She talked about it at AUX. She said one of her goals she really wants to get a strike 3 with that drop ball. You'll know when she does because she's going to celebrate it. So she's one that you see even when she gets into jams, maybe tough situations, things don't go her way. She's great at working out of them. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Savannah. We'll keep an eye out. She's going to need to walk the tightrope right now. This inning is worth 50 points. Should Team Romero get just 1 run, it would be a plus 50 for everyone on their roster. And they're starting with a runner on at first base, nobody out. Mia Davidson will be followed by Sydney Romero and then the veteran Megan Wiggins. Man, you just can't pitch Davidson inside. She looks like she's just never going to back away from a pitch. She's always a threat to get hit.
Let me tell you, looking at this lineup, Sierra Romero and then follow up with Mia Davidson, no thank you. It's a duo that has so much power.
Out number 1. That is big for Koric.
A huge rebound. Lost Romero, did not really contest that walk. Pitches that she didn't want to throw. You can kind of tell she wasn't happy with herself. And then you just rebound. Next pitch, next hitter. You're facing Davidson. We've seen what she can do even thus far in this season of AU. It's a big out.
So the younger Romero, Sydney grabs a bat. Sydney was taken in the 6th round of the draft by her sister Sierra.
Can we talk about that for a second? If my sister drafted me in the 6th round, I would have some beef with her.
What happened? Yes.
Excuse me, I should be your number 1 pick. Let's be quite clear about this.
Well, the one thing about the Romero sisters that I've noticed over the years, it's nothing but full speed ahead together. They have just this wonderfully productive relationship as sisters. Sydney chased a pitch up by her visor, and she is out number 2. Now, tickets are available, auprosports.com/tickets. We'd love to see you here. This is a fantastic building for Fast Pitch, Parkway Bank Sports Complex here in Rosemont, Chicagoland area. Join us tomorrow's games. We got one at 1:30 and one at 4 Central Time. The first 250 fans at the ballpark will receive an AU Cooler lunchbox giveaway. Get your tickets, auprosports.com/tickets. Megan Wiggins slashes it to left. Loren surrounds it and makes the play. That's how you do it, Georgina Koric. She walks Sierra Romero, but then gets Mia Davidson, Sydney Romero, and Megan Wiggins. Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN is sponsored by Nike and by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. All right, week one in the books. In week one, any team that scored 4 runs won the game. That's all it took. It may just take 1 run to win this game. It is a 1-0 pitcher's duel. We've made it to the 7th inning. We've got another game coming up after this. We have an inning left to play, but lying in wait, we've got Team Garcia, Team Ferremo. Those are both former UCLA Bruins captains against each other. And we will start it at 9 Eastern time on ESPN+. That's where you'll find us. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games. Week 2, Taylor McQuillan still in the circle. And she is going to face a pinch hitter to begin our 7th inning. It's going to be Rachel Becker. Rachel Becker from Lindenhurst, Illinois, just up the road, close to the Wisconsin border. Rookie finished her college experience at Oklahoma State. It'll be Becker, followed by Josie Muffley and Sydney McKinney. We expect, you don't know. It's the bottom third of the order for Team Zirkle, trying to add to a 1-0 lead. Not too many options right now, though, for Morgan Zirkle, the captain.
Well, 3 rookies in a row.
Uh-oh. McQuillan has been almost perfect. She's allowed 2 base runners in 4 innings of work, but she's in danger of walking Becker. Oh, and she does on 4 pitches. That is a kick in the pants. And McQuillan wants to know where that strike zone is right now. Now the New York Liberty highlight our big game next Sunday, 2 days time, ABC. They're going to take on the Las Vegas Aces. Matchup between the 2 teams with the best record in the WNBA. Coverage tips 3 Eastern, noon Pacific from Barclays Center. Here's Muffley. That's right down State Street. That great street.
Sometimes that you just need a little fuel as a pitcher, and never want to give up a leadoff walk, especially to a pinch hitter.
Laying down a bunt. Stuart Hunter, you can't play it any better than she did. It's a sacrifice. With the sacrifice, you get a +10, so 10 points for Josie Muffley for doing her job. And Becker's now in scoring position.
Look, this is a huge opportunity for Team Zirkle. Get the sacrifice situation, no brainer.
Sydney McKinney. See, one of the things that Josie Muffley accomplished by getting that bunt down is she ensured, unless something crazy happens, that Morgan Zirkle's going to get one last at bat. After McKinney, Morgan Zirkle. There's one out here in the 7th inning. Into center, sinking. Look at Wiggins off the shoe tops. Megan Wiggins can still get it done. What a massive out.
She had some huge catches last weekend. Right back to it, just talked about how important this run is. Doesn't have to leave her feet. Shoestring catch, we'll take it.
If she didn't make that play, that would have been 2 runs. The way that Sydney McKinney can run, if that ball had gotten under Wiggins' glove, that would have been a carousel and 2 runs would have scored more than likely. Game-changing play for Wiggins. All right, so the decision has been made to keep McQuillan in the game. McQuillan, since coming out of the pen, in relief of Odyssey Alexander, has thrown 4 2/3. She has not given up a hit. 6 punch-outs, 2 walks. Here's Zirkle. The way this is playing out, Kenzie, Team Zirkle's been leading the entire game, but if they don't win this inning and they end up losing the game, it's going to be almost a disastrous output. If for some reason Team Romero wins the 7th inning, that right there is plus 60, and if they end up winning the game, that's another 50. That's 110 points for everyone on Team Romero, which would totally flip the table. Beautiful pitch.
And just very quickly, conference about the situation, whether Taylor McQuillan's going to stay in the game. There's a little bit of action in the bullpen, but I like the matchup with Zirkle and Lorenz, lefty on lefty. I think that's why you leave her in.
Off speed, foul. McQuillan got herself into this spot. She walked the leadoff batter, the rookie Becker, on 4 pitches. Muffley, the sacrifice bunt. McKinney, the sinking drive, caught by Wiggins in center. 1-2 pitch.
The last at bat, Zirkle against McQuillan. Morgan Zirkle was really working her soft slap. McQuillan got her to strike out on a changeup, but this at bat completely different. Zirkle looking to swing away. The runner at second base.
Fly ball should be playable for someone. And it is. Nichols comes in from left field to make out number 3. All right, it's come down to this. Bottom of the 7th. Trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead, Team Zirkle.
Well, if you turned in a little bit later to this game, we did have a run. And this is what it looked like. It was a while ago. It was in the top of the first, where Morgan Zirkle had a leadoff walk. Amanda Lorenz followed with a single, and then a sacrifice fly from Delaney Wiz in the 4-hole, and that has been it. Morgan Zirkle and her team, a very young team, fighting their way in this pitcher's duel, and we've talked about the last couple of innings, and look at all of those zeros leading us here to the bottom of the 7th. Here we are.
For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited softball season, Aspiration committed to planting 10 trees. Heading into this week 2, 380 trees have been committed this season thanks to Aspiration support. Shannon Rhodes, Sasha Palacios, and Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, the scheduled 3. We do have a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for Team Romero. Looks like it's Nadia Taylor. Georgina Korick. This is her 3rd inning of work. First 4 innings, Alyssa Denham. There's Nadia Taylor. So Team Romero, if they don't score a run here in the 7th inning, all of the inning points will go to Team Zirkle. All 60 of them since the 2nd inning. And Team Zirkle won the game. So they will have won 7 innings, that's 70 points, plus winning the game, that's plus 50. That is a huge amount of inning and game points for one side, and Team Romero would get none of it.
I don't think I'm too bold in saying that that's a swing that would already decide a captain for week 3.
Oh yeah, if you're on Team Romero and you get absolutely nothing for a full game, that's hard to overcome.
And if you're Morgan Zirkle, you're already in that top 4 spot, and you just skyrocket yourself to the top.
It's close to where you park the car, Kenzie.
It is, actually.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Cork walked the leadoff batter in the 6th. He doesn't want to go that route again. But she has. Shannon Rhodes walks. That's been the fly in the ointment for Cork. She has walked 3 batters. She has not allowed a hit.
Well, Team Romero has more hits. They have 4 hits. Team Zirkle only has 1 hit, and they have the 1 run, so that's what matters. But Romero's team has had so many opportunities to cash in. They've had runners on 1st and 2nd, leadoff walks the last 2 innings, and have not been able to get that runner over. Just one of those games for
how many times do you see a game where one team hasn't scored, yet they've had at least 1 runner aboard in every single inning? They've had traffic every inning and haven't been able to score. Taking it one step further, they don't even have a runner on at 3rd base. Here's Nadia Taylor, swings at the first pitch, into the wind. That's gonna die. Play made by Jacobson. Maybe on a different day, wind blowing in a different direction, but not tonight.
The data on that says 207 feet of distance, so not enough to be a home run, but definitely more than what it resulted. An easy fly ball out to shallow right field. Probably should have been a ball off the warning track.
Look at Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. She is an absolute craftsman with a bat in her hands. 2nd hit for her in the ball game. Runners on at 1st and at 2nd. First and 2nd, 1 out. Last time I'm going to mention it. This is a super young team for Team Zirkle. In the infield, they have 3 rookies playing at 2nd, short, and 3rd. They may need to turn a double play to win a ball game. Can they do it? And more movement. Abby Ramirez is going to come off the bench, and she will run for Shannon Rhodes at 2nd. Longtime AU vet Abby Ramirez. Teammates with Haley Wagner and Sierra Romero at Michigan. All right, here's Bubba Nichols. She hadn't been retired all day. This is Bubba's second look at Coric. She walked back in the 5th inning.
She's had the best at-bats for Team Romero by far in this game. That's who you want up in this moment.
This could come to a head in a hurry. Ramirez, potential tying run at second. Stewart, Hunter, the potential go-ahead run at first. This ball's driven into the gap, off the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes Stewart, Hunter. It's over! What a comeback, Team Romero! That ended in a hurry. Just like that, Bubba Nichols. How do you do? That is a 110-point swing, courtesy of Bubba Nichols. She just changed the entire weekend for Team Romero.
Flipped it on its head with 1 swing.
Yep, you deserve it, Bubba.
Looks like she's on the verge of tears there. Look at her. So emotional with this 1 swing. And hey, I said it, she's had the best at-bats for Team Romero in this game. And it just so comes that the bottom of the 7th and there's nowhere to put her with Kelsey Stewart-Hunter singling in front of her. I think that was the most important thing. It forces Georgina Coric to pitch to her, the hottest hitter, and she gets it done. And there was no throw home. It was not contested.
Bubba Nichols is going to win MVP. I'm just here to tell you. MVP is 60 points. That 1 swing of the bat is a double. It's 20 points. It gives her the 6 inning wins plus winning the game. That 1 swing of the bat, 110 plus 60 plus 20, that is 190 points for Bubba Nichols. That's how you play Athletes Unlimited softball. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap it up with a pretty bow here in Rosemont, Illinois.